We back outside with Out and About podcast. I'm Marcus G with Coach
TB.
and we're going to talk about innovation. Bringing great ideas to fruition is a journey fraught with challenges, not least of which is navigating the complexities of human behavior and adaptive patterns.
Out and about.
Innovative concepts hold many emerged potentials. The reality is that the majority of people are often slow to embrace change, prefer instead to stick to familiar rarities and comfort. Understanding the dynamics of human behavior and adapting life cycles is essential for aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators seeking to bring their ideas to the marketplace successfully.
Human behavior is associated with innovation in a special way because a lot of people under an illusion participating in a false reality when it comes to what's about to happen.
Okay.
Having a steady, say, middle-class job, if you will, is what a lot of people in some cultures are used to.
Yeah. The phenomenon can be explained by the adaptive life cycle, a concept that extends beyond technology to encompass the broad spectrum of human behavior and consumer preferences. According to this framework, individuals can be categorized into 5 distinct groups: innovators, early adapters, early majority, late majority, and laggers. We call laggers bottom feeders. A lot of times people don't want to adjust to change, and you see this every day in the way the economy's going. You see this with people not adapting and getting phased out. One of the biggest adaptations that really revolutionized the world was Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon did a lot, and it changed, and it put a lot of mom and pop shop out of business. So what happened is they took innovation to a whole different degree, meaning that it takes less to do more. So now you got this huge marketplace a lot of small mom and pop shops can't keep up with, because now they got machines doing the work and it's doing efficiently. So they phasing out people. Now you look at also with these fast food chains starting to adapt these robots, and they trying to experiment with them and phasing out the workers. So you start seeing it with the kiosks where you can go in and you can punch in your own order. You can go pick up your own stuff. Literally getting rid of a whole segment of workforce. And one of the things that's happened is that people who used to do those jobs, they tried to make it a lifelong job, but innovation is starting to phase them out. So now they gotta do something else. So they raised the minimum wage in certain states, and if you go check it out, certain businesses are leaving those states because of the minimum wage hike, because it's harder to maintain and sell something that people are gonna go buy. They're gonna find alternatives.
Like you just said, that's about to be phased away. So what are you going to do? Are you going to face reality that it is about to happen? Or are you going to do something about it? Or are you going to wait until it happens and then you're going to complain on the bus stop or at the grocery store in the line waiting to check out your products? You complaining about how you done lost your job to robots, or the income is not there, the jobs is not there, the unemployment rate is high now. That's complaining and talking about it. But if you face the reality and not be under an illusion, then you know now is the time to do something about that. Not wait until there's a problem and then try to solve the problem. Be proactive, preventative of such a thing.
We have a big shakeout that's happening in the business industry, and it's a great time for investors and people to look in to finding new ways of making money and doing things. And what's always going to be there is stock market. You're going to have stocks, you're going to have investment, you're going to have people with money, people without. This whole inequity thing. So financial literacy is very important. At the same time, understanding that you got to adapt and hone your skills to be better, because those old jobs are going away. And if you don't keep up with the evolution that's changing, you're going to get faded out. And then where you going to be? So then you're going to have a whole group of people out of place. And I was watching a documentary, and it was talking about what really makes the economy go around is the middle class worker. You got your entrepreneurs at the top, you got your CEOs, and you got all these other people, and then you got your middle class, and you got your lower workers. That gets me back to thinking about you start a job and working your way up. A great company wants to invest in their talent, because you want to invest in your people, because your people keep things going. But if a worker's not willing to better themselves and invest in themselves, what can you do? And that's one of the things that I always get into, is just like, yo, how can I invest in you if you're not willing to invest in yourself?
You mentioned human behavior with respect to innovation. One of the reasons why we thought it'd be a good idea to bring this podcast out and about so that we can inform those that want to be informed. If you want to talk about the reality, that is the reality. If we don't do something different, because, you know, when I say we, I mean where we live, work, and worship, there's a culture there. Black, white, green, yellow, doesn't matter.
Right.
Some people consider the working class and some people the C class, like you said, CFOs, COOs, and the likes. Now is the time to do something different.
Exactly.
How? What? What should we do? How should we do it? You do it just like JP Morgan Chase did it.
Exactly.
We do it just like US Express did it.
Right.
They set the blueprint. All you have to do is follow it. Don't think in your mind that it's something that you cannot do or you cannot be involved in.
Right.
Because that's a false illusion.
That gets into, if you're in the middle class, that's about diversifying your portfolio at that point. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything different, but if you learn to invest your funds that you're making into a situation that's going to yield you more money, then you win. Because basically, that's what these 401ks that people get. The companies hold on to this money, and what they do with the money, they literally taking and investing your money without you having to say of what they do.
Kids to college.
And sending their kids to college on your hard dimes. So now, if you look at it, they are paying you, and you giving them your money to reinvest, the same thing that banks do. So now we're working on a way of doing the same thing with the investment club and make better returns, because now we're actively investing in not only the projects, but we're also investing in the people who make these projects run.
Giving that idea to individuals who've been beat down for so long and thinking that all they can be is middle class and all they can be is the workforce, and knowing the history from what they were taught. Because you know the winners always write the history, right?
Yeah, of course.
So if they tell you that, hey man, you ain't nothing, you was a slave, you always gonna be a slave, this, that, and be happy you got this government job, or be happy you got this state job, this city job, be happy you got this job, and you adapt that theory, guess what? Your children are gonna adapt that theory. We gotta start teaching the kids differently today. There's so many things and so many opportunities out here now that the middle class is just a stepping stone to the next level, and getting certain people to understand that is going to be the task. And it's like feeding a baby milk. You can't stuff a steak down his throat. You gotta give it to him slow and easy so that he don't choke on himself, right? So here's the situation. We're going to give it to them slow and easy. There's some things going on in society that are leaving certain cultures behind. This innovation is moving at a lightning speed, especially with NVIDIA and Tesla, and Walmart and Amazon and the companies that you named, Apple. These companies are moving so fast. They are $4 trillion companies now. Now, when I was coming up in the business, the word trillion, you never even heard of it.
Right.
Let alone 1 trillion, it would be like crazily like something you never heard before. Now we talking $3-4 trillion companies, right?
Right.
What's that going to leave the person that's getting paid $20 or $25 an hour? That's going to leave you nowhere. Because if you're $1 trillion company, you got enough money to figure out how to turn that into robots. That's a key point right now.
When I do work with 5 Fortune 100 companies, when you're in IT, you get to see all of the innovations happen because they have budgets for research and development.
Right.
Because what they're doing is they're taking that to make it overall a better company. So when you look at these smaller companies, they are more agile to move and adjust and can do things, but they don't always have the budget to necessarily accomplish the same thing. So they got to watch their numbers a little bit more carefully, which is nothing wrong with that. But at one point in time, a lot of these people started these companies in their basement.
In their basement.
In their basement, 1 or 2 people, and then they were able to scale and grow to the companies that they are today. So don't think that
It can't be done.
Yeah, you can't do it. People are doing it all the time. You got venture capitalists out there. You got investors. We deal with a lot of different investors who are looking for great opportunities for people with the right mindset to say, yo, I got this great idea. And what I also come across is that everybody's not a entrepreneur or a business person. They just have a great idea.
Research and development, good key point. Let's give them some facts about research and development, as you will. A company that everybody knows, Facebook, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just a few months ago, their research and development team came up with, guess what?
What?
Cut costs. How? Lay people off. We don't need, they laid off over 50,000 people. Google laid off people.
Yeah.
Tesla laid off people. Apple laid off people. Now, why are they laying off these people that had these jobs? What are these people supposed to do when they lay them off? How are they going to pay for their condominium? How are they going to pay for their little boat they had?
If they were smart, what they would have done was they would have looked within their employer and be like, yo, do you have a job training program that I can get into? This job is leaving.
By that time, Mark,
It's too late.
it's too late.
But that's what I'm saying. You got certain people who understand that the progress. They pay attention. I'm working the job to stay another, and they want to work their way up. So they paying attention to what's going on. But you got a lot of people who just head down, and they just looking, and they just collecting their paycheck, and they going home. But you got people in there that are like, look, I want to get in this department. How do I get here? If I work here and they show that I'm a great worker and I have these skills and talents, but I need a little bit more training and I'm willing to learn, then you become an asset.
False reality, they not seeing it for what it is. My point is that they have laid these guys off. These are IT guys dealing with writing software and the likes.
Yeah.
What's next?
See? So
Everybody's going to follow that.
So what's next?
The government
Yeah.
is going to be laying people off. State jobs going to be laying people off. Regular restaurants, hotels, they're going to cut that labor cost. It's coming.
So you cut those labor costs, right? So like I said, it gets back into the innovation. If you're an IT person, you got a skill and you learned that, take those skills and transfer them to somewhere else. You cannot get with a startup. You cannot get with somewhere where you can take those skills and harness them. It's open season. It's open season to make a lot of money in innovation and invest in new technology because people are coming up. Because sometimes when you work in a larger company, they are also slow to adapt. So you may have a great idea and you can never talk to the CEO. But if you took everything that you learned from that company and be like, look, this is a great idea. They ain't want to do it. Let me get with some people who are interested in that, who are interested in developing that technology. How can we apply that? So like I said, it's open season. Yes, a lot of people getting laid off, but it's also a great time to innovate. Innovation is going to happen because now you got people are falling out. So you got to do something. So some people are going back to school. Some people are going to start companies. Some people are going to be looking for investment opportunities and investors and all this other type stuff. But a lot of people are caught up, and like you said, they worried about, oh, what I'm going to do next. They caught up in the cycle because that is what they're used to. They're used to going in. And so, like I said, it goes back to what we was talking about. You got innovators, early adapters, early majority, late majority, and laggers.
Let's call it what it is.
What?
False reality.
False reality.
People are into this false reality. They want to believe what they want to believe, and they don't want to see things for what they are before it happens to them. And what we're trying to do is, hey, here's some heads up. This is about to happen. What are you going to do differently?
What's
because
next?
by the time it happens, it's too late. Because now you're scrambling and like, where am I going to go find a job? Why is my 401k going down? What are these people telling me? What's going on here? You guys to start doing that research right now and start learning how you can be a part of something greater than yourself, like we talked about in the last podcast.
In unity.
In unity.
Working together.
Building.
Building.
Using your mind to benefit you and your family versus someone else's company and someone else's business that they're going to wind up sending their kids to college off of your dime. That's the thing. You're gonna pay their kids' way through college by you allowing them to take your hard-earned money and invest it and get percentages off of it and feed you pennies, thinking that you have to accept that because that's the way the system is set up. No, that's what you see. That's what they want you to see. And all we're saying is, look a little deeper.
That's has always got me into this weird thing with the late majority of people, right? They will celebrate you going to get a job for another company, but they will be the last person that be like, yo, let me help you with your dream, your business, and all this type stuff, where they can actually say, you know what, I can put a couple dollars to the side and invest in my friends, my relatives' business to help them get going. So when I get older, if they make it big, I have a super investment. What they don't realize is that when they go to celebrate them getting a job, basically what they're celebrating is them going to work for somebody to collect a paycheck to invest in somebody else's dream. There's nothing wrong with that, if that's what you want.
If those people that we're trying to reach are under a false reality, they're not going to be involved in reality. And so the false reality that's stopping them from doing what you just mentioned is that competition. First, they got to get past that. We are not in competition with each other.
Unity, working together.
We not in competition with each other, right? Once they realize that, things will start turning around, right?
It's hard for people to change and adapt. So therefore, that's where you start having to look for the innovators, the early adapters, the early majority. So now, when it comes to bringing these new ideas to fruition, strategically, those are the people that we are looking for. Like, we want to influence everybody to become better, but we know that you have certain people who are just more interested in doing certain things. A lot of people going to wait, and the problem with waiting is that when you wait, you don't benefit, because the people who come early, they end up receiving most of the benefits. And by the time a lot of people get on, it's too late and they can't make money. It's like the whole Bitcoin thing. Everybody's now all into the Bitcoin, this, that, and other. The money that was really to be made in Bitcoin has passed. Not saying that you can't make money at Bitcoin, you can, but the real money was already made when it first started. So you got to understand, when somebody comes with you with a great idea, and if you might have a couple dollars laying around,
think about it.
Think about how you want to invest that time, money, and effort. You already have it, because once the opportunity is out of your hand, don't think that somebody else is not going to come up with that idea.
So banks pay you 1% a year?
If that.
When the bank first opened, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase Bank, the people that initially invested in that bank early, do you think they making 1% a year?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Of course not. Why would they?
Because they got in early.
Exactly.
It's only these folks that's just getting in now, that's all you getting is 1%. Same here with our investment group. The early takers are going to make a higher percentage. By the time you wait and get around, you'll be making a little bit more than what the bank giving you right now, because that's all we have to give you. If the bank is giving you 1%, I can give you 2% or 5%, right? Coming in early
makes a difference.
Makes a big difference.
And that's the part of investment and financial literacy that's most important, is because you got to understand that opportunity waits for no one. If you come across an opportunity, best believe somebody's going to come across it. And the sad part about a lot of things is that the people that you know tend to be the last people who want to invest. It's weird.
It's weird, and amongst our culture have been trained in such a fashion that in order for those that want to see us down or keep us down to win, they have to divide us. And one way to divide us is to pose us as being in competition with each other. And that they've done a very good job at that, because, you know, you even have family members who rather feel that they in competition with you versus being supportive and trying to build with you. I had a buddy of mine, we went to a cookout the other day, and I come around the corner in the cookout and see him. Hey man, how you doing? Hey man, what's up, shorty? Me and you the same. I got Gucci glasses too. What are you talking about, man? What you want to hear? What we trying to do? How we building? What are you talking about? So that's the whole culture, including family members. But The universe is going to send the people that want to be involved, should be involved, and ought to be involved with bettering their lives. And that's what we're providing right now. We're providing a way to be one of those companies started in the basement. Be one of those companies started in the garage. Believe it or not, you can wait to see if that's going to be the case. But by then, look what you lost from not being a part of it early. Like you talk about Bitcoin. I remember in 2013, Bitcoin was like $400.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I don't know too much about this, but I don't know if it's going to work. But I'm going to put a little bit in there just in case it works.
Yeah, bang.
Early. So it's all about getting there early. And we're providing that way right now for those that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, to get in a little early. And all we can do is present the information. They said, somebody said, wise man told me, you could take a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
For entrepreneurs and innovators, understanding the dynamics of the adaptation life cycle is critical for managing expectations and developing effective strategies for market penetration. While it may be tempting to expect immediate success, the reality is innovative ideas often take time to gain traction and achieve widespread acceptance. Patience, persistence, and strategical planning are essential for navigating the challenges inherent in the adaptation process. Building credibility, fostering trust, demonstrating tangible benefits, and key strategies for overcoming resistance and driving adaptation among mainstream customers. That's one of the reasons why we developed this podcast, because we're going to take people on the journey. We're going to be out here talking to different people about what they feel innovation is, how they're innovating, how they are investing in themselves, talking to other entrepreneurs.
Let's just say this, we're going to be out here talking to people about reality. This false reality stuff, it has to go.
At the heart of the issue lies human tendency to embrace the status quo and adhere to established routines and patterns.
Routines and patterns. I'm a city worker. I'm a state worker. I got a good job. I work at the MVA, administrations. Is that going to pass down generational wealth?
If they take that money that they earn and invest.
That's the key, and that's what we bring into them. And in my book that I wrote, took me 2 years to write, just released it about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Front to back, teach you about investing, teach you about trading, if that's something you want to get involved with. Or you can just be a part of something bigger than yourself and be a part of the exclusive investment club that we started.
So we basically are tiering the levels that people can get in and participate. Support the podcast, buy a t-shirt, subscribe, share it to a friend. Somebody who may know, you never know. They might be interested and they might take you on the journey, and thank you for introducing them to what we got going on as an investment opportunity.
That's the least they could do is share.
Yeah.
Share the podcast, man. Share.
Make sure you tap the subscribe button down below. Share, follow, and get with us, because we out and about.
We're going to take you to the water. Can't make you drink, but we definitely going to take you to the water.
We out and about.